Imagine this. The most dangerous thing in your luggage isn't a weapon. It's your daily vitamins. Or that simple souvenir from the beach that could get you pulled into a back room at customs. Sounds like a movie, right? But here in 2025, these innocent mistakes are getting ordinary travelers slapped with massive fines, deported, or even arrested. The rules have changed. Items you've packed a dozen times before might now be considered contraband. And the scariest part, most people don't realize they're breaking the law until it's far too late. In this video, we're counting down 13 surprisingly common items that could land you in serious trouble at the airport. These are things you'd never think twice about packing. So before you get ready for your next flight, stay tuned, because the last few items on this list don't just come with fines. They could land you in a foreign jail cell. Let's get into it. Picture this. You're a fitness enthusiast heading to Dubai for vacation. You've packed your usual protein powder, ready to keep up your routine abroad. But at the security checkpoint, you get pulled aside. What starts as a quick check turns into hours of detention. The problem? To an X-ray machine, your vanilla protein powder looks exactly like a brick of cocaine. All security sees is a dense white powdery substance in a large container. Their scanners can't tell the difference between your muscle-building supplement and illegal drugs. That's an instant red flag. In the United States, TSA has a 12-ounce rule for powders in your carry-on. Anything larger gets you extra screening, chemical testing, and a lot of questions. But internationally, it's taken much more seriously. In places like Australia and the UAE, travelers have been stuck in detention for 8 hours or more while lab technicians run tests on their supplements. And if you think you're being clever by transferring the powder into a plastic bag or an unmarked container, you've just made things 1,000 times worse. Now, to the authorities, you look exactly like a drug smuggler. Here's the key difference. TSA is mainly focused on threats to the aircraft itself. International Customs is focused on drug trafficking. That means you're under a much harsher lens overseas. The only safe move? Always keep your supplements in their original sealed containers with the ingredients clearly labeled. Your workout routine might be important to you, but it's not worth losing your flight, your vacation, or potentially your freedom. You spent hundreds of dollars on a high-tech smart suitcase thinking it would make your trip easier. But that very bag could be the reason you don't get on your flight. The issue is the built-in lithium battery that powers the GPS and charging ports. In a pressurized airplane cabin, those batteries are a serious fire risk. If they overheat at 35,000 feet, they can start a fire the crew has no way to put out. Airlines learned this the hard way. There were several frightening incidents where smart luggage batteries started smoking in the cargo hold, forcing emergency landings. After that, airlines banned them completely, no exceptions. Travelers are now faced with a painful choice right there at security. Abandon your $400 suitcase or miss your flight. And don't think switching it off solves the problem. Even a dead battery can still become unstable when cabin pressure changes. The only type of smart luggage allowed is the kind with a removable battery. You take it out, carry it with you onto the plane, and you're good. But here's the catch. Many major brands still sell non-removable battery models without clear warning labels. Here's a pro tip. Before you ever get to the airport, practice taking the battery out at home. Time yourself. If you can't get it out in under 30 seconds, then that fancy suitcase isn't really a carry-on, it's a liability. Now, imagine this. You're walking barefoot on a beach in Bali. You spot a beautiful seashell or maybe a handful of glistening white sand you'd love to take home in a little souvenir jar. Seems harmless, right? Wrong. That innocent keepsake could leave you with a massive fine or a criminal record. Natural souvenirs like shells, sand, or coral are a direct violation of strict biosecurity and environmental laws around the world. Why? Because what looks harmless to you may carry invasive species, parasites, or microscopic bacteria that can devastate ecosystems. To an agricultural inspector, that single seashell is a biological threat. And the penalties aren't small. In Australia, fines can reach up to $440,000 for undeclared biological material. In New Zealand, just one seashell can cost you $400 on the spot. In Hawaii, removing natural materials from the beach is punishable by fines up to $25,000. Taking coral is the most serious offense. Coral reefs are endangered, and even a tiny fragment can lead to criminal charges, environmental destruction accusations, and even a lifetime travel ban. And don't think you'll sneak it through unchecked. Airport scanners are designed to flag organic materials, and they will see it. That beautiful little jar of sand can turn into a very expensive mistake before your vacation even ends. Your phone is dead, your laptop is dying, and that giant power bank in your bag feels like a lifesaver. But here's the catch. If it's too big, that battery pack can stop your trip cold at the security line. Most travelers don't know this, but there's a magic number when it comes to power banks: 100 watt-hours. Anything up to that size, no problem on your carry-on. Between 100 and 160 watt-hours, you'll need special airline approval before you board. Anything bigger than that, completely banned. Why? Because airlines see oversized batteries as potential firebombs. At high altitudes, lithium-ion cells can overheat and ignite, filling the cabin with toxic smoke that emergency systems can't handle. And this isn't just a what if. It has happened. For photographers and video creators, this is a constant problem. They often use massive batteries for their gear, and without labels or the right paperwork, they miss flights all the time. Here's the hidden trap: unlabeled power banks. If the watt-hour capacity isn't printed clearly on the device, many countries won't allow it on board, no matter how small it really is. Security can't verify it, so they treat it as a major risk. That little box that keeps your devices alive could be the very thing that derails your trip. Now let's talk about another travel trap: those too-good-to-be-true luxury bargains. Picture yourself in a street market in Bangkok. A designer handbag that costs $2,000 back home is sitting there for $50. The pattern looks identical, the stitching seems flawless. You think you've just scored a win, but you've actually stepped into one of the riskiest travel mistakes of all. In 2025, countries are cracking down not just on sellers, but on buyers caught with counterfeit goods. Authorities have realized that counterfeit sales often fund organized crime, human trafficking, and even terrorism. That cheap knockoff is treated as a link to those networks. The penalties? In France, owning a counterfeit item can cost you up to 300,000 euros. In Italy, officials can arrest you on the spot and confiscate anything they suspect is fake. These aren't warnings or fines. They're criminal charges that go on your record. And spotting fakes is easier than ever. Customs officials are trained to recognize subtle mistakes in logos, stitching, and design. On top of that, new scanning technology can flag counterfeit goods with incredible accuracy. Once they flag one suspicious item, expect everything in your luggage to be checked. Your $50 deal can quickly become thousands in fines, legal fees, and even a permanent travel ban. Now let's move to another seemingly harmless gadget: rechargeable plasma and arc lighters. Sleek, eco-friendly, no fuel required. They look like the perfect travel accessory, but in reality, these high-tech lighters are a nightmare at airport security. Here's why. Arc lighters work by generating an electric current hotter than 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That, combined with a lithium battery, sets off every alarm bell in the book. To security officials, it's not a gadget. It's a fire hazard in a pressurized cabin. Authorities have tracked a rise in in-flight incidents linked to rechargeable devices, and lighters are near the top of the list. The problem is made worse by misleading labels. Some companies stamp TSA approved on their packaging, but here's the truth: there is no such official approval. Travelers are left shocked when their lighter is confiscated, and sometimes even questioned as a security risk. That clever little gadget could cost you your connection, or your entire trip. You're in Italy and you discover the most incredible aged cheese. In Spain, a bite of cured ham changes your life. Or maybe in Thailand, you see fresh exotic fruit that feels perfect to share with your family back home. But here's the problem. Bringing these foods across a border can turn into a serious crime. The reason is biosecurity. Meat, dairy, and fresh produce can carry microscopic diseases like African swine fever or foot and mouth disease. To authorities, those aren't just snacks. They are biological weapons that could devastate entire farming industries. The rules are strict. Agencies like the USDA in the United States and counterparts in Europe don't treat undeclared food as an accident. They consider it deception. Travelers have faced thousands of dollars in fines for something as simple as cured meat or cheese in their suitcase. And it's not just fresh items. Even sealed and packaged food, like canned goods or processed snacks, can trigger long inspections to check if they comply with import rules. The bottom line, eating the food locally is fine, but taking it across a border is considered importation, and that's when the penalties hit. Your safest option? Declare anything you're unsure about. If you declare it, the worst they can do is take it away. If you hide it and they find it, you could be facing criminal smuggling charges. Now let's look at another trend: tourist drones. You've packed your drone, imagining stunning aerial shots of Moroccan markets or the Great Pyramids of Egypt. But here's the harsh truth. That flying camera could land you behind bars before you even check into your hotel. Laws have shifted worldwide. Drones aren't seen as toys anymore. They're classified as aviation devices, and authorities often view unregistered drones as potential tools for spying or terrorism. In Morocco, drones are completely banned for tourists. Bring one in, and it will be seized instantly. In Egypt, the rules are even stricter. The US Embassy openly warns citizens not to bring drones. The government treats even possession as suspicious. In India, you can only fly one if you've spent weeks registering for permits, paying import duties, and getting proper identification numbers. Skip the process, and you risk confiscation, crushing fines, or even jail. And the restrictions don't stop there. Even with registration, your drone's batteries must be under the 100 watt-hour limit to fly. Get too close to government buildings, military bases, or heritage sites, and you could face immediate arrest. That dream of capturing a perfect aerial shot, it can quickly collapse into a legal nightmare. Now let's talk about vaping. It may seem like a personal choice, but the moment you step across an international border, your vape can turn into a criminal offense. Rule number 1. Vapes are never allowed in checked luggage. They must go in your carry-on. Why? Because their lithium batteries can overheat, trigger thermal runaway, and explode. In the cargo hold, that fire can't be put out. Rule number 2. Never vape or charge your device on a plane. The vapor will set off sensitive smoke alarms immediately. Travelers have been arrested for trying to vape in airplane bathrooms, facing federal charges for endangering flights. But here's the bigger issue. Laws vary wildly across the world. In Thailand, vaping devices and liquids are totally illegal. Tourists caught with one face fines up to 30,000 baht and even 10 years in prison. In Singapore, it's a $520 fine for a first offense, and repeat offenders can be banned from the country entirely. In the UAE, fines go up to $545 for vaping in the wrong place. Your daily nicotine fix could become the very thing that gets you arrested before your vacation even begins. That spy pen you saw online looks like a cool gadget. Maybe the camera glasses seem perfect for capturing candid moments. Or a tiny microphone that feels straight out of a James Bond movie. But here's the truth. At airports around the world, those devices can brand you as a potential spy. Authorities see them differently than you do. To you, they're fun tech toys. To them, they're tools for secret surveillance, privacy violations, and even espionage. And they don't care what your intentions were. They judge based on implied use. Think about it. A regular pen just writes. A spy pen writes and secretly records. That makes it a tool specifically designed to break privacy laws. In places like the UAE, even taking someone's photo without permission is a crime. So imagine what they think about gadgets that are built to record secretly. In Saudi Arabia and China, just possessing covert recording devices is a criminal act. Prison time is a real possibility. And don't assume you can sneak them past security. Today's scanners are highly advanced and can detect even tiny hidden electronics, turned off or not. Travelers have been arrested over camera glasses and even baby monitors with recording functions. Authorities automatically assume the worst, that you're spying. What seemed like a clever gadget for vacation memories can instantly turn into a major criminal offense. And then there's one of the most common mistakes travelers make, carrying loose pills in unmarked containers. It feels so normal to toss a few Advil into a baggie, maybe add some melatonin for jet lag, and keep vitamins in a weekly organizer. But to border agents, that bag is a bag of unidentified white pills, and they're not going to assume it's harmless. In 2025, countries across Asia and the Middle East have tightened their drug laws. Customs officers are trained to treat unlabeled tablets as possible narcotics. Travelers are being detained for hours, missing flights, even investigated for drug trafficking, just because their pills weren't in original packaging. Here's the brutal reality. At an international border, you are guilty until proven innocent. The burden is on you to show the pills are legal. That pill organizer, to customs, it's evidence of smuggling. Vitamins and supplements are especially suspicious, since they're often sold in unmarked tablets. And even over-the-counter medicines aren't always legal overseas. Allergy treatments like Benadryl require a doctor's note in some countries. Decongestants containing pseudoephedrine are banned in Japan and Mexico. That simple cold remedy could land you in serious trouble, no matter how ordinary it feels at home. The golden rule: keep all medication in its original sealed labeled bottles or blister packs. That's the only thing that proves legitimacy. Anything less is asking for airport interrogation, or worse. The laws around CBD products are some of the most confusing traps for travelers today. That little bottle of CBD oil or lotion, perfectly legal at home, could put you in prison the moment you land somewhere with zero-tolerance policies. Here's what most people don't realize. In many countries across Asia and the Middle East, CBD is classified exactly the same as hard drugs like heroin. It doesn't matter if it's labeled THC-free. Authorities treat all cannabis products as narcotics, and this is where so many travelers get caught. Even products advertised as THC-free often contain microscopic trace amounts. In a zero-tolerance country, that's enough to charge you with drug possession. There was a recent case in Singapore where a tourist was fined $6,000 just for carrying CBD hand lotion. In that country, CBD is considered a Class A controlled substance, with potential penalties of up to 10 years in prison, massive fines, and even caning. Technology is catching up too. Airport scanners and chemical swabs can now automatically detect cannabinoids in products. And saying, "I didn't know," won't work. Ignorance is not a defense. If they find CBD on you in Singapore, Japan, or the UAE, you will be charged. That wellness purchase you thought would keep you relaxed could instead become criminal evidence. And then there's something that seems completely innocent at first glance: a self-defense keychain shaped like a cute cat face. In reality, those sharp metal ears and finger holes make it the same as brass knuckles in the eyes of the law. Airport security sees a stabbing device, no matter how adorable it looks. This extends far beyond cat keychains. Tactical pens made of hardened metal, designed for striking, are treated as concealed weapons. Even a sturdy pair of metal chopsticks can raise red flags as potential stabbing tools. Security doesn't care how you see it. They judge items by how dangerous they could be in a fight. There was even a case where a woman was arrested for carrying a kitty keychain through airport security. Officials didn't see a charm, they saw a hidden weapon. And the rules change drastically from country to country. A self-defense item that's completely legal at home could be considered a serious crime somewhere else. And don't think a concealed carry permit or a local defense law back home will protect you abroad. The moment you step into a country with stricter laws, those protections mean nothing. The truth is clear. Your personal safety gadget could easily be the very thing that lands you in an airport holding cell. So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? The way airport security sees travelers has completely changed. When officers spot something suspicious in your bag, they no longer give you the benefit of the doubt. They're trained to assume the worst. Technology is evolving fast, and the rules are shifting even faster. What was harmless last year might be a serious criminal offense today. The simplest advice we can give you: when in doubt, leave it out. Don't gamble with "maybe it's fine." Before you travel, do a quick check on the laws at your destination. Keep everything in its original packaging whenever possible. And if you're not sure whether something is allowed, declare it at customs. If you declare it, the worst outcome is that they confiscate it. But if you try to hide it and they discover it, suddenly you're looking at massive fines, a criminal record, or even a lifetime travel ban that follows you wherever you go. Travel is supposed to be about freedom, relaxation, and making memories that last a lifetime. It's not worth jeopardizing your trip or your future for one careless mistake at the airport. Travel safe, travel smart, and we'll see you in the next video.